Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Sam Redgate-Large channel. It is a dark and gloomy day here in Huddersfield, but fortunately, we've got something to brighten up our day, haven't we? We have got Chelsea, we have got West Ham United in a London derby. What more could you ask for? It's going to be a fantastic game. Should be a really exciting game. Fourth in West Ham versus first in Chelsea. So, two teams more than capable of putting on a good show for us this afternoon. If you are new to this channel, be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and as always, let me know in the chat as well your score prediction for today's game. As you can see on your screen right now, we do have the team lineups there for you to have a quick glance over. I will go through those and the talking points in a second. And of course, the important games for today in terms of a Chelsea perspective, in my perspective, is of course the Liverpool versus Wolves game and the Watford versus Manchester City. Two very important games there for Chelsea. Could with good performances from Wolves and Watford give Chelsea a bit of a bonus, bit of a cushion at the top if they win tonight. And of course, anything that is reflected this afternoon, any result this afternoon will massively affect potentially Chelsea's push for the title. So evening to you, Shah. We've had Jay back in the chat, and we've also had, I believe we had Fraser in the chat as well. It's asking what hi is in German. It was hello. But yeah, evening to you, Shah, or afternoon to you, Shah. It's not quite evening yet, even though it feels so dark and gloomy outside. It's not quite evening yet. It is still only 12:30, which is the problem. It's not a very nice day. Not a very nice day. Hopefully the weather is better wherever you are watching this stream from. Anyway, let's have a look at the teams for today. We've got two teams, like I said, that are, a pretty decent form. West Ham maybe have a bit more of a, what's the way to say it? More of a, in the last few games, I think they've gone 3 games without a win. I don't know if that's German, Shah. But West Ham 3 games without a win. It seems like a problem, but they have had a good start, and some of the games that they've lost, maybe they'll be disappointed to have not won, and of course drawing as well. Losing to Man City, though, is not anything to be ashamed of whatsoever, and I'm not just saying that because Chelsea lost to them earlier on this season. However, let's have a look at the West Ham United team for today. It looks like that West Ham United are going to try and match Chelsea in this game. That's what it looks like. It looks like they're going to go match Chelsea, go with a 3 at the back, 4 across midfield, and then 3 attackers in an attempt to limit the use of the wide areas for the likes of Alonso and Reece James, the 2 players that have been, and Ben Chilwell, of course, have been phenomenal for Chelsea in those wide areas. And Chelsea's play seems to dominate that side. So it's interesting that West Ham United are playing a 3-4-3 themselves today. Starting off in goal with Lucas Fabianski. I nearly said Louise Fabianski. That'd be a weird name. Louise is a girl's name anyway. Who was I thinking of? I don't know. Zuma, the former Chelsea boy, is at West Ham United. Of course, did Chelsea a massive favour, didn't they, West Ham, beating Liverpool. So hopefully they don't do that today. Hopefully they don't return the favour to Liverpool and beat Chelsea today. Craig Dawson and Issa Diop are the other 2 centre-halves starting for West Ham United. A strong defence. I think we've realised over the last few years that actually West Ham United are a lot stronger than we potentially realised. And credit where credit's due, though, to David Moyes. That has all been his experience of football managing. That's what it's been. And people like Craig Dawson a few seasons ago got relegated, didn't he, with Watford, and now he's playing Europa League football with West Ham United. So how times can change. Then Kufal is starting at, where is that? Right wing back by the looks of things. So Kufal and Souček, and then of course Declan Rice, and then on the left-hand side will be Johnson. Johnson, of course, is more typically, I would think, a right back, but a very capable young man. Unfortunately for him, he's growing up in an England generation where fullbacks are plentiful, to say the least. And then up front, we have the front 3 of Bowen, Lanzini, and Antonio. Other than the few changes that they have made, the West Ham United squad still looks very, very strong. Lanzini scored against Manchester City, scored an absolute worldie, didn't he, against Manchester City a couple of weeks ago. But West Ham, like I said, haven't picked up a win in 3. A big, important match for them today, especially with Arsenal playing on Monday, I do believe, against Everton. I might have got that wrong, but I do believe they're playing on Monday. So then it all goes into the hands of Arsenal. If they win today, though, it's back in West Ham United's hands. But then we'll move over to Chelsea. And Chelsea have I believe they've made 3 changes to the squad that last featured. And starting us off in goal was Eduard Mendy. Christensen, Thiago Silva, and Antonio Rudiger are the 3 at the back. No real surprises there. Chalobah, of course, picked up an injury. Was it midweek he picked up an injury, which... Not fantastic, but hopefully he will be back sooner rather than later. Afternoon, Josh Ring. Hope you're doing well, mate. And then right wing back and left wing back, we've got Reece James and Marcus Alonso. I did, of course, mention Ben Chilwell earlier, still out injured. It looks like he's going to be out for pretty much the whole season, Ben Chilwell, and he will be missed. But Marcus Alonso, especially in attacking positions, more than capable of debutising for Ben Chilwell. And then the 2 in midfield has stayed the same, surprisingly, despite us having Saul, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho both retain their spots. And I think that's credit where credit's due to Ruben Loftus-Cheek specifically, that he's able to retain his spot in this team. But also a bit of a slander, really, for Saul, who got subbed off against Watford at half-time. He's not had a good start to life in London, having moved from Atletico Madrid. But, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, we're now starting to see the player. Teams are just coming out onto the pitch now. We are starting to see the player that we probably expected 4 or 5 years ago, but now he's really sort of growing into it. The composure on the ball, the ability to beat a man. Ruben Loftus-Cheek looks like a really, really good player, and potentially, could be in line for an England call-up if the form continues over December and January. I think he's going to be important to Chelsea, offering that rotation in midfield, someone who's big, strong, powerful, but also isn't shy defensively. Then the 3 up front is, again, really no surprises. I think Thomas Tuchel just wants to ease the likes of Werner, Werner and Lukaku back into the side, because they got knocks against Malmo some time ago now, but Chelsea have been able to cope without them. And we saw last season Chelsea be able to play without a recognised striker. I think that's what he's looking to do now. Just ease the strikers back into it, because at the end of the day, for the most part, Chelsea are playing well. There was a bit of a wobble against Watford. Watford were very, very strong against Chelsea, and Manchester United wasn't the greatest of games, but still took a point from Manchester United. That's the important thing to remember. It is Manchester United. And then the 3 up front then is Mount, Ziyech and Havertz. Mount got a goal and an assist in midweek, and Ziyech as well has been on the score sheet as well. So Chelsea definitely got goals in the team, maybe not as many as they would have hoped to have, but the bench is absolutely packed for Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Saul, Aspilicueta, Lukaku and Werner all on the bench. Ross Barkley as well, if that's a notable name to anyone. Not really. All on the bench. So Chelsea definitely do have strength in numbers. Maybe not defensively, with Malang Sarr being the only real centre-half on the bench for them. But plenty of talent for Chelsea. And you would hope that they would go into this game as favourites. Fraser is obviously, as a Liverpool fan, backing West Ham. And he is saying West Ham United 3, Chelsea 1. He's going with West Ham to dominate Chelsea. And Shah going with Chelsea 2, West Ham United 1. I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I think this game will be a draw. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I can see there being goals in both halves for both teams. I'm going with 2-2. I think it'll be a fair result for West Ham, Chelsea potentially, but we'll have to see how the game flows really, because of course I want Chelsea to win, but I think we should be scared of this West Ham United side, especially at the moment. Manuel Lanzini making his first Premier League start this season, of course rewarded for that fantastic goal he did score a couple of weeks ago against Manchester City. So there's plenty of talent on display for today, and Chelsea are going to be playing in their 3rd kit in their third yellow kit. I do believe it's their third kit. Yeah, I think it is. And just focusing on Reece James, of course, how fantastic has Reece James been so far this season? The top goal scoring defender in the Premier League, Chelsea's top goal scorer so far this season. Of course, Lukaku and Werner still yet to fully be reintroduced, so I'm sure that will change. But Reece James and the fullbacks, they are instrumental in the way that Chelsea play. They like to move the ball wide, and they offer so many different options, and especially Marcus Alonso. He'll stand himself like centre forward most of the time. Marcus Alonso will. So there's lots of options. Just seeing the London Stadium looking lovely in the sunshine in London at the moment, and we will be underway in a second. And Havertz will get us underway. There we are. We are underway here then in the London derby. And Chelsea kicking from right to left in the first half, and West Ham from left to right. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to drop a like on the video. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, do be sure to subscribe as well. Fraser's saying Trent Alexander-Arnold is better than Reece James, or he prefers him. Personally, I think they've both got assets and capabilities that are better than one another. I'd say Reece James defensively is probably a better player. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold is useless in defence. Maybe an early opportunity for Chelsea here. Mason Mount was to pull one back, looking for Ziyech, but good defending by West Ham. Yeah, I think they've both got different assets that they're good at. I think the important thing to remember with both is that, they offer different things. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold can't defend, but Reece James, for me, I feel more comfortable. If I were to watch him, for example, play in the same team, maybe in an England team, I'd feel more comfortable with Reece James at right back, at a traditional right back, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, more than capable. There seems to be a bit of a myth that Trent can't defend whatsoever, and he's definitely more than capable. The problem is when he attacks so far forward, the gaps that are left in behind cause the problems more than anything. I think Trent is one of the best, if not the best right back on the planet at this current moment in time. Reece James, though, keeping him in good company at the moment. And of course, João Cancelo, a lot of talent coming out the right backs of Premier League teams at the moment. An early foul there conceded by Declan Rice in quite an advanced position here. It was on Reece James. I think Declan Rice actually won the ball himself, and it's a Diop pushed into the back of him, and the ref has given pushed into the back of Reece James, that is, not into the back of Declan Rice, but pushed into the back of Reece James, and that's what's given away the foul, because Declan Rice did not look happy. The vlogs are doing well. They are doing well. I'm really pleased, and thank you for everyone for supporting them as well. Reece James is going to whip this cross in from about 30, 40 yards out here. Reece James whips it in. Cleared, though, by the head of Declan Rice doing his defensive duties. Declan Rice has come out publicly and said that he wants to be known as less of a defensive midfielder, but now more of a box-to-box midfielder. Let me know what you guys think. But I think he's more than capable of doing both. I think he's he carries the ball phenomenally. We saw that for England. Drives the ball forward, takes it out really, really easily, and he's honestly a phenomenal footballer. Reece James, you've got him in my head now. Declan Rice, phenomenal footballer. And to be honest with you, if Chelsea don't end up sniffing around him in the January summer transfer windows, don't be surprised if he gets a big move elsewhere, because Declan Rice, phenomenal player, and I definitely think he has all the capabilities to play in a box-to-box role, and probably, even move himself more as a centre midfielder rather than just holding. Afternoon, Fraser. Josh is saying, I don't like the Chelsea kit. I'm pretty certain it's the second kit. I think either Louis or Jake Hare has this kit. I just obviously went for the Chelsea blue. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a funny colour, but I've also historically had a Chelsea green kit, so I don't think I can comment on a yellow kit when you've got a manky green kit. And Vlog's doing well. Agrisha, he helps the team. Sure. Where are we looking? Fred greater than Henderson. Jesus, I won't say that at all. Declan Rice here manages to take it out, rolls it into Issa Diop. Big game for Kurt Zouma. Touched on him earlier for a small moment, but big game for Kurt Zouma. Of course, maybe not the pressure that there would be if he was at Stamford Bridge, and from his loan times at Everton and Stoke, he is used to playing against Chelsea and being a Chelsea player, but now completely different scenario because, of course, he now doesn't play for Chelsea, and it's all about the reaction, isn't it? We spoke about Jack Grealish, how the Aston Villa fans treated Jack Grealish in the game between Villa and Manchester City the other day. And of course, Zouma isn't anywhere near the caliber of player nor the reputation that Jack Grealish had at Aston Villa. But it's a big game because if he celebrates too much, Chelsea fans won't be happy. I don't really mind. I don't really mind, sort of thing, because at the end of the day, you're playing for that club. That's you're playing for that club. Don't be, too overtly bragging about it, but you are playing for the other club, and it's respect for that. And Chelsea, he had a good time at Chelsea, stuff like that. So big game. Hopefully he doesn't buckle under the pressure. Hate to see former Chelsea players, especially like someone like Zouma, who was so important to Chelsea over the last couple of seasons, more in the background more than anything. But very, very important. And, a good player for Chelsea, a good servant, had him for a few years. And, will be good to see. He's done very well at West Ham United. So be good to see him play a good game today. Reece James looking to pull one in. That might fall to Ziyech. It bounces off Dawson, and somehow squeezes its way through to Luis Fabianski. Sam, is your comments behind? No, they're not. It was just I was in the middle of a conversation. They're not behind. It tells me the right time. I can see them all coming through. If I'm just talking about something else, I'll just wait. Jurgen Klopp greater than Tuchel? Maybe at the moment, yeah. But I'm sure maybe even 5 years' time there'll be a debate around that, and I think we'll have one of the great debates between the two of them. Of course, what Jurgen Klopp has done to that Liverpool side is unrivaled, even with this Tuchel transformation of Chelsea. Absolutely unrivaled. 6.5 minutes on the clock yet to have a clear-cut opportunity. That opportunity that just fell to Hakim Ziyech was a bit of a half opportunity there for Ziyech, and maybe if it had been a bit more switched on, a bit more alert and alive. I went to say alert and alive and muddled it together. Maybe if it had been a little bit more alert and alive, he would have got himself on the end of that. But Chelsea starting with the majority of possession, as you would have probably have expected. But as I say that, Thiago Silva's given the ball away to Jared Bowen. Bowen has Lanzini and Souček and Antonio in support. Bowen decides to go himself. Oh my gosh, I thought that was going to find the top corner. A lack of concentration there from Thiago Silva, and Bowen easily able to wander. And from the camera angle we had, from that camera angle from behind the goal, looked nowhere near, but from that side on camera angle, it looked like he was going to rip the top corner because Edouard Mendy didn't move at all. Did anyone see that World War II bomb that exploded in Munich? No, I haven't heard about that. Chelsea taking the goal kick short. Always worries me that. Now that you can take a goal kick inside the penalty box as well, that really annoys me and really worries me because now you've not got the penalty box as safety. You can literally get pressed on your own 6-yard line, and it's very, very stressful. I wonder when West Ham fans might start booing again. What were they booing for last time? Bowen goes forward, rolls it into Antonio. Antonio looks to cross one in, looking for Souček. Opportunity there for Souček. He'll be annoyed at himself there, Thomas Souček. It was a good header, and he should have probably done better with it. He's just tried to he's flicked his head at it, looked to glance it towards goal, and Thomas Souček there really should do better, I think. He'll be annoyed with himself for that, especially if West Ham United go 1-0 down, because that was a golden opportunity for the big Czech Republic international. And we've seen him score plenty of goals from the air and in that sort of area for West Ham United. They booed at home versus Brighton. Wow. It seems strange that you can boo with the form that they are in at the moment. Reece James finds Loftus-Cheek, finds Jorginho. Good play from Chelsea here to Ziyech. Ziyech rolls it into Mason Mount. Mount goes wider to Alonso. Alonso doesn't have much support in the box. Goes back to Mount into Reece James. Reece James looks to wind one. Save. Easy save by Luis Fabianski. Testing the gloves of Fabianski. Not a bad effort there from Reece James, who popped up sort of in a centre attacking midfield role there. Not a bad effort at all from Reece James, but Luis Fabianski more than equal to that shot. And just a little bit of caution there from Fabianski. He's just had to be careful because it did bounce in a very, very awkward position for him just in front of him. But both sides showing that they're capable of creating opportunities, even if Chelsea do for some reason, or Thiago Silva seems to be giving the ball away. Chelsea looking to play their way out of trouble here with a press on of 3 players. That seems to be the thing that's going to be happening. Oh, Edouard Mendy with a dodgy touch there. Nearly gave it away to Jared Bowen. Lovely turn there from Rudiger to get away from Bowen. Bowen doing the majority of the pressing for West Ham in that exchange. Loftus-Cheek here. Loftus-Cheek has a bit of room, rolls it into Ziyech. Ziyech spins, opens up his body and drives at that defence. Ziyech goes wider to Reece James. Reece James has to come back though and fights Jorginho. Jorginho goes back out wide to Reece James. James into the feet of Ziyech. Lovely play from Chelsea here. Just taking their time, testing, waiting, wondering. Mason Mount pulls it back. Havertz! Oh no! Oh, that was an opportunity that for Kai Havertz. Mason Mount, a lovely, lovely reverse ball to play that back into Kai Havertz. Mount may have been offside. I think he would have been offside anyway, but Havertz should find the back of the net there. Kai Havertz definitely should find the back of the net there for me. He should hit it with a bit more conviction, really test the goalkeeper, really test the goalkeeper. Early warning signs for West Ham United there, but Havertz, man, what as a chat, let me know, what have you made to Kai Havertz? Because I cannot put my finger on Kai Havertz as a footballer. I cannot. He goes through stages. Some days you look at him and he's like, wow, what a player. He could be phenomenal. And then some days he just looks like he doesn't have the conviction or the want or the desire. Mount wins the ball back there to really want to drive the ball forward and be a main part to this Chelsea team. And Havertz, he just seems to, I don't know if he lacks confidence because he just seems to be off the pace sometimes as well. And Chelsea really need him to start finding the pace. Here is Ziyech out on this right-hand side. Ziyech cuts one in on his left foot, but easily defended by, I believe that was Issa Diop wearing his gloves. Clearly a bit too cold for Issa Diop today. I think he's the only one. Oh, Michail Antonio also has his gloves on. So I think so does Zuma. So does Zuma. Central players of West Ham United, sorry, like to wear their gloves. Reece James into Loftus-Cheek. Jorginho has to come back. Christensen finds Ziyech. The bit of movement there from Chelsea, from Ziyech there, which was good. He found a little pocket of space and rolls it into Mount. Bit of a dodgy first touch from Mount, but well recovered to roll it to Rudiger. Rudiger back into Mason Mount. Mount has a couple of players in front of him. He's going to have to come back. Does, and goes back to Rudiger again. West Ham United look compact. They look really, really good. Josh saying Havertz will never be the first name on the team sheet player. I don't think, like, the thing is, he has the potential to be. I think it was the game against Crystal Palace. I'm sure Oliver, if he's still in the chat, will correct me on this. The game against Crystal Palace, I think it was at the back end of last season or the beginning of this season. He was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Looks really, really good. And I thought, oh, wow, we're going to have a player on our hands here. But he's just never fulfilled that potential so far at Chelsea. And I'm desperately wanting him to. But Kai Havertz, for me, he just doesn't hit it with conviction. He looks slow, he looks lazy, and he doesn't look like he's bothered about playing. And I'm sure that isn't the case. I'm sure he is wanting to, play and wanting to score goals, but it just doesn't look like it at the best of times. And I'm always thankful for his goal that he scored in the Champions League final. But even then, it was was a bit of a dodgy first touch to get him round the keeper. Yes, he did what he needed to, but it was still a little bit dodgy. Lovely ball from Ziyech there to find Mason Mount. Mount tries to drop his shoulder, looks to clip one in there, and it's bounced off Kufal and cleared again by Kufal, who's found Bowen. Bowen being really harried here by Rudiger, and that will be a foul. Rudiger giving away a foul there. Come on, West Ham, get a goal, says Fraser. Fraser's desperate for West Ham to score. We're only 15 minutes on the clock, though, Fraser. Still plenty of football to be played in this game. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to drop a like on the stream for me. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. Just looking at the bench there. What a stacked bench that is for Chelsea. Of course, Romelu Lukaku yet to be fully introduced back into this Chelsea side. Yet to be fully introduced, and could be a vital player come the end of the season if we can get him firing consistently and play Romelu Lukaku to his strength. I don't think we quite are playing him to his strengths at the moment. Jorginho headers one clear there, and it falls to Issa Diop. Romelu says, Oliver, he's wanting me to sing it again. I won't sing it until he scores. Declan Rice drives the ball out, rolls it to Dawson. Dawson looks to clip one forward there. He's got a runner of Soufal in the right wing back role, but Rudiger reads it well. Here is Souček. Souček being supported by Soufal, or however you want to pronounce his name, into Bowen instead. Back into Kufal. Into Bowen again. Lanzini, Bowen. West Ham really being pressured here. They're going to have to come back all the way. Chelsea putting on a press, doing their job as a team. Declan Rice has had to come all the way back over the halfway line here to weigh up his options. I'll be waiting many years then. Maybe not. Maybe we'll see one this afternoon. Chelsea regained possession there after a dodgy-looking ball towards Michail Antonio was easily intercepted. Now, Loftus-Cheek has a bit of room here. Might be able to drive into the space. West Ham United, though, getting the bodies back quickly and sharply. They've always got at least 6 men behind the ball, which looks like it's going to be a problem for Chelsea, who attack sort of in 4s and 5s. So there's always going to be a spare man over for West Ham United. It's whether Chelsea can play the ball fast enough and use the play well enough. And Havertz there with a really poor touch, and he's lost the ball for Chelsea in an advanced area. But fortunately, the ball has been won back there. I believe it was Jorginho, but Jorginho's following pass wasn't good enough, and West Ham are able to regain possession. Just waiting for play to resume here. It was a throw-in for West Ham United. Oh, lovely ball from Kufal there, looking for the head of Antonio. Antonio looked to flick it on down the line to Bowen, but just put a bit too much on the header there, and it's gone out for a Chelsea throw-in. West Ham starting to get their foot in the game now after a dominant sort of first 15 minutes for Chelsea in terms of possession and in terms of chance creation. Both teams, though, showing that they can attack and attack well. Declan Rice and Bowen have won the ball higher up here, and that's great dribbling from Bowen. The referee's waving an advantage here, and I think they're going to pull that back for the first foul on Declan Rice. The linesman was adamant that was a foul. To be honest with you, Declan Rice did really, really well there. Good feet from Declan Rice to get away from Loftus-Cheek and Alonso. I don't know how he even kept the ball at his feet there. And a foul on Lanzini is what has brought it back for a free kick for West Ham United. It's actually the foul on Declan Rice that they're going off, the initial foul rather than the second foul. Referee, of course, was playing advantage on the first one. So potentially an opportunity here for West Ham United. Potentially so. Could be a big opportunity here. They've got the big boys up from the back. They've got the 3 centre-halves up. So no doubts the ball will be looking for that. Although Declan Rice, weirdly enough, is stood over the ball there with the height of Declan Rice. I maybe wouldn't be. But let's see if he's the one who whips it in. It is Declan Rice who whips it in. There was a man offside in the middle of the box there. I'm not sure if that had gone in off Dawson there, if he was onside or not, but it has gone back out for a corner ball for West Ham United. It was Ruben Loftus-Cheek doing his defensive duties really, really well. Most PL goals, goals from corners, not corners from goals, this season is West Ham United. So more than capable of scoring. They do have some big, big players. Lanzini looks to whip that one in. It's flicked on at the front post. Falls in the box again to Dawson there. And easy save at the end of the day for Edouard Mendy. Reece James clips that one down the line there, but only ends up taking a deflection and going out for a Chelsea throw-in. Fraser's just backing West Ham in the chat here, reminding me, come on West Ham every few seconds. Christiansen, who swung forward. Big head by Zuma. Headed again by Thiago Silva. Bit of head tennis here, and Lanzini's managed to get the ball down. Rolls it into Ben Johnson, into Michail Antonio. Antonio, is he going to be able to get past James? Looks to put a ball in. Too close to Edouard Mendy, though. Easy stuff from Edouard Mendy. And, you know, easily comfortable stuff for Edouard Mendy there. I don't think he'll be worried about that. It was a good run from Michail Antonio, but at the end of the day, the cross wasn't the greatest. I'm trying to find my mouse so I can click on something here, which is why I keep going like that. I'm not being weird, don't you worry. Not today, anyway. "20 minutes on the clock, still 0-0. Chelsea so far with the bulk of possession. Definitely with the bulk of possession, but West Ham United showing that they aren't slouches either. So, going to be a good game. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you are not already. And Kufal does his defensive duties well there, and it'll be a Chelsea corner, I do believe. Hakim Ziyech is going out to take this. Hopefully Chelsea can do some better corners today, because Chelsea's corners at the minute have been awful. They just keep dropping them on the front post, and it's easy to defend when it's at the front post. Unless you have making a runner, it's going to be easy to defend. It looks like West Ham are going for a bit of a half man mark, half Dave Zonal technique here at the corner. Ziyech whips it in, and it's gone to the front post again and cleared. This is what I mean. Ziyech, man, you're a professional footballer and you can't kick a ball. Like, you can't kick a corner over the front post. Like, surely you can do that. Christiansen into Jorginho. Good work there from Jorginho. Declan Rice has come in. Has he won the ball there? Is there going to be an obstruction there? I don't quite know what's happened. He's given it as an obstruction. Jorginho's absolutely fuming because he's been laid into the ground, and Jorginho's going to get himself in the book for dissent there as well. He's been absolutely laid into the ground there by Declan Rice, which was a bit clumsy from Declan Rice in the first place. And then he's trying to get up Jorginho, and Declan Rice inadvertently knocks into him, which knocks Jorginho back down onto the ball, and they've given the ball away for obstruction. They've given a free kick away for obstruction. So there's a knee into the head of Jorginho. I'm not sure whether Declan Rice meant that whatsoever. I don't think he saw that or saw the opportunity to do that. Oh, Michail Antonio there, potential opportunity. Ball gone long, and Michail Antonio, it dropped on his left foot, but no can do. It was just a long ball there from Kurt Zouma. We didn't even see it. That's how quickly it happened. We literally saw the ball fly over. What's happening? Any goals? No, absolutely not. Of course not. Not any goals yet. And Rice, baby. Bum, 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 bum. I've got a maths teacher called Oliver Hives. Right. Thanks, yeah. Chelsea have a goal kick here. Chelsea will be wanting to, get over that. I'm going to call it a little blip. Of course, we picked up 4 points from the last 6, but considering the form that they were in and how good they looked against Juventus, I will say it is a little blip because against Watford, they were really shaky. Hopefully, that's why they've worn their yellow kit to channel they're in at Watford from the weekend, from the midweek game, sorry. And hopefully, we can see a better Chelsea side. Mason Mount here with a bit of room to roam, but has to come back. West Ham looks so defensively solid. They look well drilled. They look like they're doing their job competently. Christensen, James, into Havertz. Havertz goes to Ziyech. Ziyech cuts back on his left foot because he's one-footed. Into Loftus-Cheek. Back into Ziyech. Ziyech onto his left foot again. Into Reece James. Chelsea just taking their time here. They're having to be patient. Any chance of a goal in this game? I don't think so, Josh. I don't think so. But we've heard of stranger things. Ball whipped in there by Marcus Alonso and cleared easily by West Ham. Both teams look a little bit cagey at the minute. Maybe they're both aware of the importance of this game for both teams' seasons. Reece James clips one in towards Havertz off his head and into the grateful hands of Fabianski. Better though from Havertz. He's got his movement. Reece James puts in a delightful little ball. And I think it's actually hit the back. Oh no, it does actually hit the head of Havertz. He maybe jumps a little bit early and could have done maybe with a bit more height on the ball. So Havertz didn't have to stoop his head quite as low. But better there from Kai Havertz. Better from Kai Havertz. Good movement to find the space and a good ball, of course, from Reece James as well, who we've seen that so much time and time again from Reece James, finding spaces and if not, putting other people into space as well. Oliver's got Rudiger, James and Alonso. That is surely a recipe for disaster, having 3 Chelsea players in your team, because if Chelsea lose, then surely you've got no chance. Like I struggle to double up on defenders. Say if I went with Trent and Van Dijk, I struggle to do that, knowing that if Liverpool lose, let alone tripling up on defenders, that is pretty mental. Soufal here. Cruyff turns back on himself, up against Alonso, straight through the legs of Alonso though, and finds Souček, who's in the box. But good defensive work there from Rudiger. And has Marcus Alonso? Yes, Marcus Alonso's just won a throw-in for Chelsea. Deep inside the Chelsea half, though, just to take a little bit of pressure off there. That was a good ball, though, from Soufal to find Souček. Lovely, lovely little ball. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to drop a like on the stream for me. I'll greatly appreciate that. Got 1 point from Mount and Bowen. I think I actually subbed out Ben Rama. Did I sub out Ben Rama? Yeah, which actually ended up being a stroke of luck because, of course, Ben Rama isn't playing in this game so far. Reece James here with a bit of room to gallop into, but Declan Rice so quick. He doesn't look like he should be quick, but he is. Havertz here looks to whip one in, and that'll be a Chelsea corner. Good defensive work there by Issa Diop to track Kai Havertz there. I cannot afford Trent. You can't afford Trent, and I've got Trent and Cancelo. How? I've got Trent, Cancelo, Ronaldo, and Salah in my team, as well as Mason Mount and now James Maddison. So I'm pretty pleased with my team at the moment. Chelsea corner here, though. Less FPL talk. Chelsea corner. Mason Mount will take this. Mason Mount looks for the head of Loftus-Cheek, flicked on, and it's flicked off the head of, I think that was Kurt Zouma there. It ended up coming off and behind for another Chelsea corner. Must feel weird for Kurt Zouma to play against Chelsea, especially having been such a, he was in the Chelsea team for the Champions League run. It must be really, really strange. Ronaldo's injured, Sam. Yeah, that doesn't really make a difference. He's 75% chance. I prefer to run a 75. Oh my gosh! And that's in from Thiago Silva. Mason Mount crosses one in. Thiago Silva headers one down into the floor. And I'm not sure how Fabianski's not saved that. I think the bounce from the header has caught Fabianski off guard, and that has found the back of the net. Wow. Chelsea won. West Ham United 0. Let's watch that again. He gets away from Antonio. Antonio doesn't even jump. He does not even jump. And I think the bounce has just caught Fabianski off guard there because it's bounced quite close in front of him. And all Fabianski can do is put a finger on it, and, well, that has found the back of the net, and Thiago Silva has opened the scoring for Chelsea. So that is how the game is going to start. It's going to start nice and early with a goal for us. Hopefully kick a bit of life into it. Maybe West Ham won't be as cagey as they have been so far. Defensively, they've looked strong, but almost killing the game at the moment. But that is Chelsea 1, West Ham United 0. And that'll give Chelsea confidence. That'll definitely give Chelsea confidence. And I believe it was a Thiago Silva goal with a Mason Mount assist. Ben Johnson looking to whip one in here, looking for the head of Souček. Falls to Soufal at the edge of the box. Soufal off the line from Thiago Silva. Great defensive play from Thiago Silva. Brilliant. Chelsea switched off post their goal, and great tracking back there from Thiago Silva. He saw the shot coming in from Soufal, and that is what you get with Thiago Silva. He knows where he needs to be. He knows. He knew where the ball was going to come, and great defensive tracking back. And that is what you get from a man like Thiago Silva. A true professional, never, ever switches off, even if he did switch off slightly earlier. But we'll let him off after scoring a goal and now saving a goal as well. So West Ham United just making sure that Chelsea know that they're in a game. Just making sure that they know they're in a game, because that was a close one. That was a very, very close one there. Fair comment there from the commentator saying very unlucky for Soufal, or whatever you want to call him. Soufal, very, very unfortunate. But a good defensive play by Thiago Silva, and Mason Mount was to put one across there looking for Kai Havertz. Mason Mount in such good form at the minute. Another assist for him. Reece James looks to clip one in. Headed clear by Zuma. Flicked on again by Declan Rice, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek has so much time to collect the ball there and bring it back down, and Chelsea might be able to go on the attack again. Mount into Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek finds Jorginho. Thiago Silva picks out Reece James. Lovely ball from Thiago Silva there. Thiago Silva threads in Mount. Mount across the box. Was Alonso trying to get his toe on it, but just in front of Marcus Alonso. Ziyech picks up the ball from the other side, rolls it back, falls to Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the edge of the box. Deflection, took all the sting and power out of the ball there, and into the hands of Luis Fabianski. Deflection off Declan Rice as that went through. Nearly could have caught out Fabianski, but he was switched on and alert. West Ham United just a little bit sort of incompetent. Maybe not incompetent. Maybe incompetent's the wrong word, but maybe just a little bit worried at the moment. They want to be able to get themselves forward. We've seen them get themselves forward. Chelsea have switched their heads back on, though. If they were going to score in the few minutes post Thiago Silva's goal, it was going to be with that Soufal opportunity. Rudiger drives one forward, rolls it into Alonso. Alonso looking for Havertz, but Havertz needed two players to be defended there, and Issa Diop and Zuma. I think a combination of the two of them there managed to actually put a slide tackle in. And Chelsea using those wide areas, it looks like it's going to be a common feature of Chelsea's play. We've seen them use when Werner is on. We've seen them use a common feature of using a long ball over the top. But it looks like today they are going to opt instead to use the wide areas and move the ball out wide. Ziyech, can he put in a better cross this time? Can he do what Mason Mount just did? Ziyech whips it in, beats the front post this time, flicks out though, defended easily by West Ham to James. Christensen will shoot from about 30 yards out, maybe the wrong decision, but worth an effort. Sam, does Alonso normally play? I mean, he will do when Ben Chilwell isn't being played. A lot of people talking about Saul playing as a fullback. Not sure on that one at all. I know he did it at Atletico, but he absolutely, from what I can work out, he did not like like it whatsoever. So I think it will be Alonso for the foreseeable future. If not, it'll be Alonso or Azpilicueta. I think Azpilicueta defensively is a bit more sound than both Saul and Alonso in those wide areas. But if we want to attack, Alonso is the better player. I think you'd only use Saul as a wing back even if Hudson-Odoi, Azpilicueta, anyone who will play out on that left-hand side gets injured. I think I'd prefer to have a defensive midfielder out wide there rather than Saul, but that's my opinion. That is my opinion. Set pieces look a threat. I mean, we do, but we also don't. I think we look a threat from Mason Mount set pieces, but Ziyech is just, I don't know how we can't beat the front post on some of these. I don't know how we can't beat the front post. Rudiger launches one forward, looking for the run of Havertz. Good run from Havertz there to get him behind Kurt Zouma, causing him all kinds of problems. His running has been good, actually. Sam, what's your wish? Santa is here. Fraser, if you're sub to Sam, you're on the good list. Well, Fraser's definitely on the good list. What would my wish be? 500 subscribers by the end of the year. There you are. That's my wish. A modest wish. Thiago Silva into Christensen. Reece James out wide into Loftus-Cheek, who's joining the action. Loftus-Cheek into Ziyech. Ziyech has Alonso wider, decides to use him. That bank of defenders staying strong. Rudiger he opts to shoot there, looked to bend one in that far corner, but blocked easily by the West Ham United defenders. Well, you've lost one, so you're on 4-4-9. Ah, brilliant. Nice. Typical. Mason Mount's going to shoot from range easily into the hands of Fabianski there. Fabianski definitely being tested in the opening 35 minutes or so. Chelsea win the ball back up high. Here's Havertz. Havertz into Ziyech. Back into Mount. Mount tries to get it to Loftus-Cheek, and it's fallen out there. But good defending by Declan Rice to get the ball clear. Dylan Riley going, come on, Burnley. Nice to see you supporting the right teams. Afternoon to you, Dylan. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Here's Rice. Rolls it back to Dawson. Just going to regain and regroup here, West Ham. They're being put under a bit of a high press. By Chelsea. And they can't really get out at the moment. Chelsea seem to have stemmed the flow post Thiago Silva goal, where they looked like they hadn't quite switched on. But Chelsea look like they've stemmed that flow and stopped West Ham United in their tracks. But West Ham always capable of turning on the style. And here is one of those men who can do that. Souček rolls it out to Kufal. Kufal rolls it looking for the feet of Antonio, but he's just played it a little bit behind. And Thiago Silva easily able to scoop the ball up, but Ziyech has lost the ball further up the field, and West Ham are able to regain possession with Lanzini. Lanzini into Antonio. Antonio this time plays it behind Souček, returning the favour. Enjoying Berlin. Absolutely. Berlin is lovely. Burnley need a win today versus Newcastle. I'm so nervous we will lose. I mean, if you want to watch that, go over to A View from the Stands and watch the wide watch-along. What? Live watch-along. He'll be doing that game. He'll be streaming that game for you. So if you want to go watch that, be sure to go over to A View from the Stands, Dylan. I'm sure you're already subscribed. Anyway, that's a dodgy back pass there from Jorginho, who's put Mendy in all kinds of problems. Is that a penalty? And Jorginho has played the ball to Mendy. Mendy, trying to regain the ball, has given away a penalty. Jorginho giving away another penalty. And that was, Mendy tries to do his best here, He tries to hold off Bowen. Bowen's just too quick, though. Just too quick. And in trying to clear the ball there, Edouard Mendy slips over and gives away a penalty. It's a stone wall. It is a stone wall. But Jorginho, man, what are you doing? You're supposed to be the third best player on the planet. So much for that, lad. So much for that. Shah's gone over to Twitch as well. Lanzini, to answer your question, Dylan, will take this penalty. Mendy has to clear it, but Jorginho has to play a better back pass as well, Josh. Awful decision from Jorginho there. He sold Mendy short. Absolutely sold Mendy short here. And Lanzini has an opportunity from a half, really, where West Ham haven't had much to get on level terms. And story of Chelsea's life, really, over the last 2 games, causing their own downfall, is Lanzini up against Edouard Mendy. Lanzini steps up and slots it in calmly. Of course, no doubting him there. No doubting Manuel Lanzini there. And he's gobbing off at Reece James as well. The arrogant thing. He's gobbing off at Reece James as well. And like I said, there's not a lot really that Mendy can do. Yes, you can argue, like Josh does, that Mendy should be clearing it, but it's awful from Jorginho. It's awful. He's sold his keeper short. Mendy's trying to make up for that, and he's absolutely sold him short. And good penalty, to be fair, from Manuel Lanzini. Completely sends Edouard Mendy the wrong way. But what a calamitous 30 seconds that was from the boys in Chelsea blue, or in Chelsea yellow today. What a calamitous 30 seconds. And it is West Ham United 1, Chelsea 1 now. Oh, what an awful 30 seconds. What an awful 30 seconds. And Chelsea now, Lanzini, I tell you what, and West Ham United are going to feel like they haven't deserved to score a goal this first half. They've not been fantastic, but they've kept themselves in the game. Defensively, they've been sound. And Chelsea, at the minute, especially Jorginho, seems to be showing the whole world why he wasn't one of the best players in the world over the last year. When in reality, Chelsea are much, much more capable and a lot better than what they have been at this current moment in time. And Oliver is absolutely fuming because of his FPL. Told you that's why you don't put 3 defenders at the back. That's why you don't put 3 defenders from the same team at the back, because then you lose all of your points automatically. But God, Chelsea, what are you doing, man? Loftus-Cheek, great dribbling there. Rolls it back to Ziyech. Ziyech, surely. Oh, good block. Great block by Dawson. Here's Havertz. Havertz tries to poke one through and doesn't quite fall. But Loftus-Cheek there with some fantastic footwork. Fantastic footwork there from Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And Hakim Ziyech, again, looking slow, looking sluggish. Chelsea signings that they made under Frank Lampard, barring Edouard Mendy, and obviously not a good day to pitch for Edouard Mendy, but barring Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva, haven't been fantastic. Ziyech hasn't been great. Havertz hasn't been great. Werner, who's been good at creating opportunities, but in front of goal has been rubbish. Chelsea, they need to have a look in the next transfer window and sort this out, because I think we're going to have to sell one of these multi-million pound players, because Ziyech has not been good enough in a Chelsea shirt for the most part. And Jorginho, to be honest with you, I think he needs to have a long, hard look at himself. He's the captain. He's the first player on the team sheet. He's taken the vice captaincy from Thiago Silva. And over the last 3-4 games, he's made multiple mistakes that have led to goals. And what was that? Edouard Mendy. He's panicked that time. Christensen rolls him the ball back. Not really any danger. And taking no chances, hoofs the ball out. Chelsea absolutely rattled now. And halftime cannot come quick enough, because Chelsea are going to concede. Chelsea will concede if they carry on like this, because West Ham, they're lethal. That's a ball whipped in there from Ben Johnson looking for Souček. Chelsea do look absolutely rattled at the moment. Lanzini picks up the ball in the attacking midfield position. Lanzini rolls it into Michail Antonio. Antonio goes to Declan Rice. Rice into Soufal, into Bowen, if I can get the names out right. Bowen driving away from Rudiger, but being closely marked by him. And he goes out wide there again to Soufal. Soufal doesn't have many options in the box. Him and Declan Rice are both in front of each other. And a bit of a coming together there off the ball. I think it was all accidental between Rudiger and I believe that was Bowen. I think they were just both not concentrating on where they were running and more looking at the ball. Dawson into Rice, back into, bit of a short pass there from Declan Rice, and he's giving it away to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek looks to switch one towards Ziyech. Ziyech, touch there, would have hit the hand of Soufal. Lovely ball there from Ziyech. It's going to fall to Mount. Oh my God, what a goal that is from Mason Mount. Oh my gosh, what a finish that is from Mason Mount. What a goal from the young man. Oh my gosh, what a goal on the volley. Beats Fabianski at the front post. Questions around Fabianski's goalkeeping. But what a goal. What a goal. West Ham United caught open there from a quick counter-attack and a Declan Rice ball given away. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to check before I update this that Mason Mount is onside. But what a finish that is from Mason Mount. The great form of the young Englishman continues. He's miles onside. He's absolutely miles onside. Instep of his foot. Hits it into that bottom right corner. What a goal. Mason Mount, take a bow. Take a bow. And he's put Chelsea back ahead. A really, really good finish. I think Lucas Fabianski is going to be very, very annoyed at himself, though. I think he's going to be fuming at himself there to be beaten at his front post. Not good, but Mason Mount, the technique on that. The technique. Beautiful stuff from Mason Mount. Beautiful stuff. And Chelsea get their noses in front again after a wobbly few minutes. And it's wonderful how football works. Like, since West Ham United scored the goal, Chelsea didn't look like scoring. West Ham looked like they were going to score. And all of a sudden, one mistake from Declan Rice, and Chelsea are the ones who found the back of the net. Amazing how quickly football turns around. Mikel Antonio there looking to catch Mendy off guard, shooting from the halfway line. But just off target in the end. But amazing how football turns around quickly. But Chelsea do need to look at themselves. We can't rely on phenomenal finishes from Mason Mount all the time. We can't rely on Mason Mount to, keep dragging us from the depth of despair. The assist was Hakim Ziyech. It was. Got 13 points now. Everyone's talking fantasy football. But, oh my gosh. To think as well that I've captioned João Cancelo. We'll have to wait and see. Mason Mount in terrific form. Another goal and an assist today for my star boy. Got him on the back of my shirt, but what a goal. And that was better from Hakim Ziyech as well. Better from Hakim Ziyech, who has looked pretty woeful in a Chelsea shirt for the most part. That's a lovely ball from Reece James to find Havertz. Here is Havertz. Havertz couldn't decide whether to shoot, cross, or just dribble it towards the keeper there. And Zuma might have overstretched himself there trying to stop the attack from Havertz. You support Chelsea. I mean, you wouldn't have guessed, would you, Dylan? You wouldn't have guessed. And that does not look good for Kurt Zuma. And Ben Johnson has just gone off, by the way, for Arthur Mazuaku. Not sure why Havertz has gone down, to be brutally honest with you. He's gone down like holding his head, even though I don't remember his head being touched at all in that part. But, well, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. I absolutely hate it when players go down. Let's watch this again. I think Zuma is going to have to go off, and I don't know why Havertz has gone down whatsoever. I have no clue why Havertz has gone down there. It's a good tackle, a really good tackle from Kurt Zuma there, and I think he's paid the price for it there. And I'm not sure whatsoever why Kai Havertz has gone down. He's on the floor like a baby. I don't know why he's holding his head when they're treating his ankle, which is a bit weird, but we'll wait. We drew 1-1 with you. Manchester United, yes. We're just watching the replay from Jorginho's back pass to Mendy there. And Jorginho, he needs to have a long, hard look at himself there. To play the back pass in the first place is one thing. and it's a risky thing. But to then not give it enough conviction is a complete different thing. And the only thing I can think of is that Jorginho is just switched off. That is the only thing. But oh, Burnley, nice. You did draw on one with us as well, and that's been Chelsea's form in the Premier League at the minute has been a little bit questionable. We've had 1-1, 2-1-1 draws, and then at the minute scraping 2-2-1s. Havertz is still limping. Zuma is off the field at the moment as well, so it is 10v10. But the referee has blown for half time, so that does conclude an exciting half. Thiago Silva's questioning why we even bothered having that break in play if he was just going to blow the whistle anyway. But that is the end of the first half. And a lot to talk about. Mason Mount, what a volley that was from Mason Mount. A lovely, lovely goal. But we do have a half-time game here, ladies and gents. And for today's game, let me know when you are ready. We are going to be doing higher or lower. Very, very easy to explain. Higher or lower, but we're doing it Premier League appearances yet again. We're watching the Premier League, so why not do it Premier League appearances? So we have got the concept of this game very easy for you as well, guys. I'm going to tell you a player. You're going to know the first player's number of Premier League appearances. For example, this is the first one. Peter Crouch, 468, or Leighton Baines. You've got to tell me if Peter Crouch has more Premier League appearances or less Premier League appearances than Leighton Baines. So is Leighton Baines higher or lower? Let me know, ladies and gents. Get in the chat. My dream is Burnley to get relegated. Bloody Burnley. And my dream is Salah injured. Phrases already. So let's see. What do you guys reckon? Who has made more Premier League appearances? So are you got Shah's going with Leighton Baines lower? I believe that is what Shah is going with. I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Peter Crouch played for donkey's years in the Premier League, but so did Leighton Baines. And Leighton Baines used to be a regular fixture for Everton for at least 7-8 years. So whether you can justify him having more appearances than that, we'll wait and see. Let me know in the chat, guys. Get your comments coming in thick and fast. Shah, what is your reasoning behind this? Going with Leighton Baines lower? Let me know. What is your reasoning behind it? Fraser reckons that Peter Crouch, I'm assuming that Peter Crouch has more appearances. I think that's what he's going with. Is there anyone else in the chat? I'm not overly sure, to be honest with you. It looks like it is just you two at the moment. We'll give another 5-6 seconds just in case if there is anyone else wanting to put it on. And Shah doesn't know, to be honest, but that's part of the game, Shah. That is part of the game. So Fraser's going with Peter Crouch having more. You're both on the same team. You're both in the same boat. So I can reveal to you guys. Let me just see. I can reveal to you guys. Don't put I don't know. That's the part of the game. That is part of the game. Leighton Baines has lower. There we are. Josh is being confident and assertive. Shah going lower. And Fraser saying Peter Crouch has more. So here we go. Leighton Baines has 420 Premier League appearances. 420, which does mean you guys were correct. Peter Crouch does have more. So now it goes between Leighton Baines or Kyle Walker. Who is it? Leighton Baines or Kyle Walker? Is Kyle Walker have higher number of Premier League appearances or lower? Higher or lower, ladies and gents? Good start from you all. I think this is a really, really tough one. Kyle Walker lower, and then Shah's gone with Walker higher. Very clever, Shah. I'm going to have to take an answer on that. Baines has more, so Walker is lower. Josh going with Kyle Walker, making less Premier League appearances than Leighton Baines. Fraser, what are you saying? Is that in response to... is that lower in response to this one? I don't know. Fraser, just confirm what you are going with. Leighton Baines, 420 appearances, which seems mental. And Shah is going with, okay, I'm just going with Walker more. Of course, he changes his his answer now that Josh Ring has put his answer in the chat. Of course you have, Shah. Of course you have. So looks like you're both back in. Oh no, maybe you haven't. Maybe you haven't. You've gone with Kyle Walker higher, haven't you? You've gone with Baines is more. Walker is lower. So Shah is going, and Fraser are both going with higher. You said higher first. Okay. I'll let you off, Shah. I'll let you off. So Leighton Baines higher on appearances. So Fraser was meaning Leighton Baines has higher appearances. But the question is, does Kyle Walker have more or less appearances? This game's confusing. You're just looking at the second player. The discussion isn't around Leighton Baines, it's around Kyle Walker. So Fraser's going with Leighton Baines, and Shah is going with Walker. Josh is going with Walker lower. So, yeah, it's easier. So, lower. Yeah, exactly. You guys are getting yourself into a right model. Yeah, all you have to do is answer the question of, does Kyle Walker have more or less appearances, higher or lower? That's all you have to answer. You can literally ignore the Leighton Baines part. All we're bothered about is 420 to 0. There we are. Right, let's go. So, which does mean 420 appearances. Leighton Baines absolutely stomps Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker on 327. Maybe by the end of his career, you'd hope Kyle Walker by the end of his career would be on more, but that is 327. And then the next one is Michael Owen. So I was quite surprised the gap between those two, but Leighton Baines had a very, very long career. So Michael Owen, higher or lower than 327? Michael Owen, lower, says Josh. Shah is going with Michael Owen higher. Oh, Josh and Shah are completely split here. They've been split on the last few. And Fraser is going Michael Owen lower as well. So there we are. Now that we're into the flow of things and you guys are actually understanding, let's go. Right, the next one. So I can reveal to you, Kyle Walker had 327 appearances, but Michael Owen had 326 appearances in the Premier League, which does mean Michael Owen was lower. And now the question goes, Michael Owen or Hugo Lloris? Is Hugo Lloris having more appearances on the injury table? Yeah, that's probably true. That is probably true. So, Michael Owen or Hugo Lloris, who was made by one? Yeah, I know. Very, very close. Very close. But here we go. So, Michael Owen, 326, or Hugo Lloris. Is Hugo Lloris higher or lower on Premier League appearances? Oliver is backing Hugo Lloris to have more appearances. That's what I'm assuming Oliver means by Lloris. Let's see what everyone else thinks in the chat as well. I think this one's quite a hard one as well because Hugo Lloris feels like he's been around the block for years, for donkey's years. Shah again going Lloris higher, but splitting him and Josh Ring yet again. Josh has gone with Lloris lower, and Fraser has gone higher Lloris. So here we go. So 3 of you against Josh Ring. I can reveal to you that Michael Owen, 326. Hugo Lloris only on 312, which does mean Josh has got it right yet again. You guys need to check your... Josh is split with us, man. Yeah, but Josh is right. Josh is carrying the team at the minute here. I don't think Josh has got one wrong. Questions, I think we're going to have to go to VAR and make sure Josh isn't Googling these. He always calls everyone else out for it when they're in a good run of form. So we'll go to VAR and we'll see. Next up, Hugo Lloris has 312 Premier League appearances. Scott Parker, does he have more or less, higher or lower? Does Scott Parker have higher or lower? Shock, I win again. Josh is older than us, so that makes no difference. These are players that have played in your lifetime. That makes absolutely no difference. Can I use Google? No, that is cheating. That ruins the entire fun. Josh is going with Parker higher. Higher. I am copying Josh. Josh, you're going to have to wait now. You're going to have to wait. If everyone is copying you, Josh, you're going to have to wait until everyone else puts the answers in because they feel like they're going to be cheating. But Josh could maybe lure you into a false sense of security here because Josh doesn't have an infinite knowledge of football. He likes to think he does, but he doesn't. He doesn't. Damn, they can copy me now. I know, but Josh, you're going to have to go after. Oliver is also backing Scott Parker. So you've all been boring, and now you're all just following what Josh Ring says. He's the leader of the group apparently now, which is boring. Scott Parker, back in the day, did used to play for Chelsea, former Chelsea boy as well. Important to remember. But more famously known for his time at Fulham. Yeah, and he was Fulham manager, of course, as well. But let's move on to the next one. And we will go with, so I can reveal to you, Hugo Lloris had 312 Premier League appearances, but Scott Parker absolutely smashed him out of the park with 368 Premier League appearances. We then move on to a Premier League icon in Rory Delap, who played for Stoke City. If you guys don't know who Rory Delap is, I'm going to be absolutely baffled because he had an iconic era of the Premier League, Rory Delap did. What a man. What a man. Josh Ring, I'm going to ask for you to hold fire. Chelsea, Charlton, West Ham, yeah. And Spurs. Big career, Scott Parker. A long time. Okay, I'm not copying Josh. Josh Ring, just hang fire 2 seconds before anyone else copies. And we will wait and see. So who is the what? Fraser, you've got to be having me on there. Oliver is going with Scott Parker. Oliver's making this really easy. Just going with the player he thinks has the most. Shah is going with Rory Delap higher. Fraser is going Delap lower. So, Josh, now you can enter into the chat. Now that they have decided not to copy you, let's see what Josh is going with. Of course, Rory Delap nearly had, 8-9 seasons potentially in the Premier League with Stoke City. So that's quite a lot of appearances, especially for a first-team player. Never heard of Delap. I'm going to say you're having me on here, Fraser. I am going to say you are having me on here because there was a 5-year period where Rory Delap was the best well-known Stoke City player. I know that's not hard, but the best well-known Stoke City player. And honestly, iconic for his throw-ins, of course, We'll just wait for Josh to put in the chat if he is still in the chat. If not, I'll give him another 30 seconds or so, and then I will reveal to you who has the more Premier League appearances out of Scotty Parker and Rory Delap. And there we are. Josh is going with, he's a long throwing merchant. Exactly. I'm not. I don't even know who he is. Fraser, man. And Josh is going with Delap lower. Will Josh Ring's fine form continue? So, Scott Parker, 368 Premier League appearances. Rory Delap, 359, which is mind-blowing. I did not think Rory Delap had made that many Premier League appearances, but he spent so long in the Premier League with Stoke City. I mean, it was bound. He was bound to make that many Premier League appearances, wasn't he? He was bound to. Absolutely bound to. But that does lead us on to our next one, which is Rory Delap or Gary Cahill. Who has the more Premier League appearances? Gary Cahill does he have higher number of Premier League appearances or a lower number of Premier League appearances? Let me know what your thoughts are. Josh saying thought it would be close. Yeah, it surprised me actually how close that was, because I know obviously Scott Parker wasn't a world-beating player, but he was still a very good player who seemed to be around in the Premier League for 14, 15 years. But Rory Delap, of course, was a first-team player for Stoke City for some time, and that was the defining difference between the two of them at the end of the day. So higher or lower, Gary Cahill. Fraser is going higher. Shah is going higher. Cahill is a snake, says Oliver. Cahill must have more. And you're all in agreement then that Gary Cahill has more Premier League appearances. And the players are about to come back out for Chelsea versus West Ham. We will be resuming shortly. So I will reveal to you the final one of this halftime game. Rory Delap, 359 appearances. Gary Cahill in at 394 Premier League appearances. I don't think that was a surprise at all. You guys seem to know. What the crack is. Romelu Lukaku is stripped and ready to come on for Chelsea, the Premier League leaders. So Chelsea are making a change. Thomas Tuchel not happy, and Kai Havertz is making way. Interesting stuff. Maybe Thomas Tuchel has been listening to the stream. Maybe Tuchel has been listening to the stream and realizes that, maybe Sam is right. Maybe I need to change things up. But Romelu Lukaku is on, which should surely only strengthen this Chelsea side. You would hope, wouldn't you? You would definitely hope. We are about to get back underway at the London Stadium, and we are underway. And it was West Ham getting us underway for this second half. Why does it say 1 hour 30? What has that done? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Right, let's reset it. What is going on here? Stop. Right, start. What is going on? Right, there we are. Now we're 20 seconds behind, so oh well, let's stop, update this. Let's get ourselves ahead. Why did it say 1 hour 30? Why would that ever be? Right, we'll get the timer sorted out, and then we will go. Brilliant. There we are. Now we're all sorted. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to drop a like on the stream. Can we hit 10 likes on the stream? That would be absolutely fantastic. And I'll keep you up to date with everything going on in this game between West Ham United and Chelsea. Lanzini here into Declan Rice. Chelsea haven't touched the ball so far in the first opening minute of this second half. West Ham looking to dominate possession, not give the ball away. Good turn there from Masuaku to get away from Reece James, who finds Antonio, flicks it round the corner to Souček, who I do believe was offside. And Loftus-Cheek I think he'd have given away a foul there, but Souček was offside anyway. So bit of a sign of intent there for West Ham United to move the ball faster and actually spread the width and spread the defence of Chelsea. Long ball there from Rudiger, looking towards Romelu Lukaku, who I think he's definitely going to be up with his with a match here against Kurt Zouma. Obviously, those two know each other pretty well from their time, I'm sure, at Chelsea from before Lukaku left Chelsea in the first place. And of course, when he did return, they know each other very, very well. And I'm sure Zouma will be more than capable of defending against the Belgian striker. Christiansen comes back to Reece James. James into Christiansen. West Ham putting on a much better press in this opening couple of minutes. Intrigued to see whether they can continue that, but they are putting on a bit of a better press here, and that's caused Christiansen to play the ball out for a West Ham United throw-in on the halfway line. Lanzini fouled there by Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek just couldn't quite get the ball off him there. Loftus-Cheek having another good game, though. Really, really starting to cement himself into this... Excuse me, hiccuping. really starting to cement himself into this Chelsea side. Ball looped forward there, looking for Masuaku. Flicks it on to Bowen. Bowen does really well to get that under control there. And referee, though, has pulled it back for an offside, though. Coming back on there, Jared Bowen deemed to be offside. Chelsea will get us back underway in a second. Guys, let me know, what have you made to the first half? And let me know your score predictions for the second half. Can you see a West Ham United comeback? Or do you think Chelsea will go from strength to strength from here following a delightful Mason Mount goal? Jorginho finds Christensen. I'm sure Jorginho will have had a word to him by Edouard Mendy and Thomas Tuchel in that first half following that poor back pass. Yes, Mendy also made a mistake, but panic stations had set in after a dodgy back pass from Jorginho sold him short and ultimately gave away a penalty. Ziyech tries to pull one in there, and Craig Dawson stands his ground and does really, really well for the Hammers. And it will be a Chelsea corner. Need a better corner. Come on, Ziyech, a better corner this time. Let's get right onto the head of Romelu Lukaku. Whipped in by Ziyech, looking for the head of Jorginho that time. And it's ricocheted off a few West Ham United players and looks like it's gone back out again for another Chelsea corner. There was a better ball in from... it has deflected off a couple West Ham United players there, but a better ball in from, I think it's actually come off Jorginho in the end, but they've given it as a corner. Better ball in from Ziyech that time. Chelsea 6 corners to West Ham United's 1. Ziyech whips the ball in again here. Flicked on, though, by Dawson, who's done his defensive duties really well, and Lanzini is able to clear only as far as Christensen, who loops it forward towards Alonso. Alonso, poor flick on there, really, and might be able to do something with it here on the counter-attack, maybe West Ham United. Good strength from Antonio. Antonio has Bowen in front of him. Surely he must unleash him, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek turned on the turbo there, Loftus-Cheek. Bowen would have been offside by the looks of things anyway. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek out of nowhere, he's just turned on his legs. He went from 0 to 60 in 3.5 there. Absolutely turned on the turbo. Bowen maybe would have been offside there, but Bowen is no slouch, and he's absolutely overtook him and made him look like he's Jorginho there. Great defensive tracking back there from Loftus-Cheek. Didn't know Bowen was offside. Got back in, did his defensive duties really well after Michail Antonio was strong and pretty much bullied the Chelsea defenders off the ball there. Play is resumed though. Zuma rolls it into Kufal. Kufal finds Bowen into Souček. Souček waiting for men to get up with him as well and can only succeed there in playing the ball off Jorginho for a West Ham United throw-in. I think Gerrard greater than Vieira. Weird that you don't know who Rory Delap is, but yeah, you can comment that Steven Gerrard was a better player than Vieira, considering Vieira retired probably before you were the age of 5, 6, Fraser. That is pretty mental. Masuaku into Zuma, back into Masuaku, into Declan Rice. Rice goes to Dawson. Dawson spreads it to Souček, Soufal. God, that confuses me. West Ham just taking their time here. Chelsea, the press isn't really on for Chelsea at the moment. It's kind of being done individually rather than as a team, which is the problem as of the moment. Thiago Silva intercepts there, plays it off to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek, good footwork to find Reece James. Reece James has to go all the way back, though, to Edouard Mendy. Here's Rudiger. He's wanting more, Rudiger is. He's wanting more options. Wanting way more options. Zuma gives away a foul there at the halfway line on Romelu Lukaku, cynical push in the back there. I don't think he really needed to do it. I'm not sure Lukaku's touch would have been good enough anyway. Jorginho finds Christensen. Christensen has a bit of space here. Rolls it into Mount. Mount flicks it onto Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek, good footwork. Really good footwork from Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek tries to pull it back there, looking for Hakim Ziyech, but Declan Rice steps in, and Declan Rice is able to carry the ball out. But Reece James uses his strength and pace really, really well. And Reece James is going to come back all the way to Mendy. A little bit short that time, but Mendy able to clear because it wasn't in the penalty box and it wasn't desperately short like Jorginho's back pass was. Souček. Here's Lanzini. Into Kurt Zouma. Zouma into Rice. Back into Zouma. West Ham. Majority of possession has been West Ham United's possession in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Trying to get their foot back in this game and really, really try and dominate play. Bowen passes intercepted though, and Rudiger might be able to put Chelsea on a counter-attack here, and he's driving forward at that West Ham United defence. He has Ziyech wider, and that's a bit of a dodgy ball from Rudiger, and the ball's just bobbled up, and Ziyech has blazed it over. Absolutely blazed it over. It was good play from Rudiger, but the pass in the end, it just sort of hit a bobble, and the bobble just caused problems really for Ziyech to actually get his foot over the ball. Ended up getting underneath it and hoofing it sky high, rocketing it over the goal. Here's Lanzini. Lanzini just taking his time, rolls it into Michail Antonio. Antonio finds Souček. Souček clips one forward, looking for Antonio. Falls to Soufal. Soufal to Bowen. Bowen shoots. Bowen scores. What a finish that is from Jarrod Bowen. Half opportunity there for Bowen. Chelsea in the mud at the moment. What a finish. What a finish from Jarrod Bowen. And you can't say it hasn't been coming. West Ham dominating possession in the opening 10 minutes of this first half. And what a finish that is from Jarrod Bowen. What a finish that is from Jarrod Bowen. And my 2-2 score prediction, funnily enough, is on at the moment. Unfortunately, I didn't want it to be on, but it is on. What a finish that is from Jarrod Bowen. It was just persistent play from West Ham United, moving the ball wide, spreading it, and winning the ball back up high after poor decisions, and a good effort there. And I think Christensen and Thiago Silva in front of the ball there should do more. It comes to the legs of Christensen, so I'm not sure how much of it Edouard Mendy actually sees, and I don't think he'll have seen it until it was too late there, hence why Mendy wasn't able to get himself down there. But a lovely finish from Jarrod Bowen. What a finish that is from Jarrod Bowen from outside the box to bend it into that bottom left-hand corner. Brilliant finish from the young Englishman, 24 years of age still, remember. So could be a bright future ahead of him as well. So causing a few problems for Gareth Southgate if he carries on scoring goals like that, Jarrod Bowen. Really good start to their first half by West Ham United, but Chelsea need to look at themselves, don't they? They need a rocket up their backsides at the minute. Chelsea do. They seem to switch off. They're in and out of confidence, of play, of just competence around football. Any stream later, Sam? I don't think so. I've not planned to, so if I do, it'll be another spontaneous one. Lovely ball over the top to Mount. Mount pulls it back. Oh, looking for Marcus Alonso. He maybe should have shot himself there, Mason Mount, in the form that he's in. Shah with a good call there, having Bowen and Mason Mount in his team. Reece James goes back out wide to Mason Mount. Mason Mount has been the one bright spot for Chelsea so far. James whips it in, looking for Lukaku. Lukaku might be able to get himself on the end of that, hassling Craig Dawson, but only succeeds in poking the ball through to Fabianski. Chelsea, they just need to stop switching off. They keep switching off. I don't know what's going on. There's like a mentality shift in this Chelsea side. There's a huge mentality shift. Maybe it's because they're top of the league. I don't know. But there seems to be a huge mentality shift, and they don't seem to just be mentally there. They seem to just give the ball away, be sloppy, switch off, stop marking their men, all of that. Masuaku finds Antonio. Antonio with the weirdest turn I think I've ever seen in the world, being closely marked and harried by a combination of Mason Mount and Christensen. Ball play forward, looking for the feet of Bowen. Thiago Silva deemed to have fouled the person who scored the equaliser for West Ham United. Chelsea are really struggling, and I think that's credit to West Ham United. West Ham have matched Chelsea so far in terms of formation and play style, and West Ham United are doing a really, really good job at the moment, especially at the start of this second half. Maybe we're lucky to go in at a 2-1 down in that first half, but since the second half has started, they've looked really, really good here. Headed ball looking towards Mendy there. Mendy's done well there to judge that, actually. Done really well to judge that. He does look nervous. That I'll give that to Glenn Hoddle. Mendy does look nervous following that initial mistake in the first half, and that's what I'm talking about mentality-wise. Chelsea just don't look at it at the moment. He looks like a shell of himself, Edouard Mendy, lacking confidence. He did well there, but he should have probably just come and collected it first time. Ziyech goes to Alonso. Alonso comes back to Rudiger. Chelsea need to up the tempo here. They need to up their performance. Thomas Tuchel will be absolutely fuming, and rightly so. Loftus-Cheek switches it to Ziyech. Ziyech has a few players in support, looks to drill one across the box, only succeeds in finding the West Ham United defenders, and West Ham are going to take the ball forward here with Declan Rice. Mikel Antonio, though, unfortunately has slipped, trying to get the ball back, and Chelsea regain possession yet again. Loftus-Cheek finds Reece James. Reece James goes wider to Mount. Mount drills one across the box looking for Lukaku, and Zuma gets his foot in the way and puts it behind for another Chelsea corner. That was better, though. More positive from Chelsea. Mason Mount, though, does look to be where the ball is coming through. That right-hand side of Mason Mount and Reece James looks like Chelsea are going to try and exploit that side because Mount being in such good form at the moment. Mount has come over to take this corner for Chelsea. 61 minutes on the clock. Mount whips it in. Cleared, though, by Kurt Zuma, who's easily going to win that header. The rebound there cleared again from Declan Rice, and Christensen has to go all the way back to Edouard Mendy. Mendy looks so underconfident with his kicking. He's not taking any chances now. I don't know if that's a negative or a positive, to be honest with you. Mount into Reece James. Back into Reece James there. Back into Mount again. Chelsea just testing, just trying to work their way through into Loftus-Cheek, back into Mount, but cleared, and Chelsea regain possession there following that header. Here's Mason Mount. Mason Mount finds Reece James, who finds Jorginho. Jorginho looking for a bit of movement forward. Lukaku made the run, but Jorginho opted to pass instead to Reece James. Here's Mason Mount. Chelsea really, really need to up the tempo there, and Antonio coming back, trying to do his defensive duties. Deemed to have fouled Ruben Loftus-Cheek there. And I think it was. He put his hands on him, gave him more of a push than a shoulder barge. And yes, deemed to have been a foul. Chelsea looking to make a substitution, and no surprises really. Looks like it's going to be Callum Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea want to get themselves back ahead, and Hudson-Odoi, Thomas Tuchel is deemed to be the man to do that for Chelsea, but not before Chelsea take this free kick following that Mikel Antonio foul on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Reece James to whip this one in, whips it in, and no Chelsea player. Why did I say no weirdly there? And no Chelsea player even made a run there. They all just stopped. Reece James's corner free kick goes out for a goal kick. That's how poor that was. Really, really poor. Poor stuff from Chelsea. Chelsea look distracted. They look out of it. There's just something not right with this Chelsea team over the last couple of games. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a bit of overconfidence. Ziyech is going to be the man who is coming off for Hudson-Odoi. 63 minutes on the clock. So Chelsea showing that they want some fresh legs up front, want someone who's maybe a bit more two-footed than Hakim Ziyech, give a few more options going forward in those wide positions. Ziyech doesn't look happy though. And after a lovely assist, that's all I can really say. It was a good ball to find Mason Mount, but other than that, maybe not vintage Hakim Ziyech. And I'm not sure we've ever really, for more than a couple of games, seen vintage Hakim Ziyech in a Chelsea shirt. Antonio into Masuaku. Masuaku looks to roll one forward there. Bowen had made the run, and if he'd have found it, it had to have been a delightful Kevin De Bruyne-esque ball. Ruben Loftus-Cheek drives out. Lovely play there from Loftus-Cheek and finds Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku up against Zuma. Lukaku drops it back there to Mason Mount, who tries to clip one over looking for Alonso, but Mason Mount's best friend Declan Rice able to clear that one. Bowen into the feet of Mikel Antonio. Antonio tries to use his strength, but Reece James comes back really, really well and defends in a really solid fashion. Christensen finds Reece James into Romelu Lukaku, into Mount, into James, back into Loftus-Cheek. Just taking their time again, Chelsea. I thought they were going to open them up with that good run from Loftus-Cheek a moment ago, but the opportunity never really came for Chelsea to open up a few gaps, and Chelsea just having to build again with Mason Mount. Mount into Lukaku. Here's Hudson-Odoi's first involvement of the game into Mason Mount. Mount looks to clip one forward there, looking for Marcus Alonso, but defended by the West Ham United defenders. West Ham standing strong at the moment. Chelsea look like they're really struggling to break down West Ham United without going on the counter-attack. Here's Hudson-Odoi, who's out on the left-hand side. Hudson-Odoi flicks one into Mount. Mount gets his shot off. Easy save, though, by Fabianski, but that was better. Found Mount in a little bit of space, and at least Mason Mount is the man who is going to be, taking the shots. He's full of confidence, Mason Mount, at the moment. And better, though. Good dribbling as well from Hudson-Odoi. That is one thing Hudson-Odoi does over Hakim Ziyech, the ability to go either on his left or his right because he's confident to do so. And maybe we don't see that with Hakim Ziyech as much. We most certainly don't, if I'm brutally honest with you. I think Hakim Ziyech, that is one massive flaw of his game. You can talk about the greats who maybe are a little bit one-footed, like, for example, Arjen Robben, but as a general rule of thumb, those players that are able to use their right foot confidently and competently and their left foot exactly the same or to a similar level will be better footballers. And Ziyech, for me, is too dominant on that left-hand side. There's a time and a place where cutting into his left foot will be helpful, but he needs to have that option because it just adds another string to his bow. Ball clipped forward, looking for Antonio. We can only flick it on to Reece James, though. Reece James picks it back up, looks to play a ball into Romelu Lukaku, can only find Declan Rice. Neither team really, for the last couple of minutes, able to put a succession of passes together. It seems to be a little bit scrappy at the moment. Rudiger looks forward for Lukaku. Oh, Lukaku's first touch has let him down there, and that looks like it's going to be the end of the game for Kurt Zouma. That looks like it will be the end of Kurt Zouma's game. That little bit of an overstretch that Zouma did in the first half looks like it's come to bite him on the backside there, and I think Zouma's going to be being subbed off there. That did not look good. Oh, God. If only Lukaku had got his touch on that. I think as well that would have stopped Zuma from getting injured had Lukaku got his touch on that, which is unfortunate chain of events, really. He looks in significant pain here, the former Chelsea man, Kurt Zuma. Hopefully it's not too big of a worry for Kurt Zuma. Ogbonna's also out. Bit of a worry for West Ham United. If it's more than just cramp, will be a bit of a worry for them. Just watching the second goal again. It was a lovely finish, but Chelsea's defending was shoddy. They all just stood off. They're ball watching most of the time, Chelsea. And fair play to Bowen, still had a lot to do, but Chelsea should have defended it, should have cut it off at the source. And that means that West Ham still 2-2. Of course, goals from, let me think, who the goals been from? We've had a goal from Mason Mount, a wonderful goal from Mason Mount. We've also had goals from Lanzini, Bowen, Thiago Silva, who opened the scoring. So lots of goals for us to watch today. And if you haven't already, guys, be sure to drop a like on the video. And of course, let me know what you're making to the game as well. If you do have a Twitch account as well, feel free to go over to Twitch and give us a watch over there as well. Alonso driving forward. Deemed to have been fouled there by Jared Bowen. I think that was maybe a little bit harsh on Bowen. Jorginho into Christensen. Chelsea need to start building again. Reece James is going to try to whip one in. Easily defended by Masuaku, but Masuaku can only succeed in turning the ball behind for another Chelsea corner. It looks like Pablo Fornells is going to be coming on for West Ham United. So West Ham, sign of intent there. I think that's going to be for Kurt Zuma as well. So sign of intent there from West Ham that they're not happy just with a 2-2 draw. It is Zuma coming off for Fornells following Kurt Zuma's injury. So a real big sign of intent there by West Ham United, and should spice up the game a little bit. An extra attacking player in a wide position. West Ham will probably, I assume, go to a 4-2-3-1 in an attacking sense. Mason Mount whipped this corner in. Mount whips it in. It was Thiago Silva jumping for that one, but only succeeded in going all the way out the other side towards Jared Bowen. But Hudson-Odoi with some good pressure there has won the ball back. Jorginho rolls it back into him. Hudson-Odoi deemed to have been fouled there by Jared Bowen. Bowen isn't happy at that decision there. Really not happy. Let's watch this again. Hudson-Odoi tries to go down to the byline. Oh, it's definitely a foul. He's not won the ball. He's not won the ball at all. I think Bowen trying to play the referee a little bit there. Definitely a foul. 71 minutes on the clock. 20 minutes left if Chelsea are going to save this game. And by save it, I mean take all 3 points. They can't afford to keep dropping points and leaving it this late. It's giving me anxiety. Reece James whips this one in, looking for the head of Lukaku, falls to Alonso, but Alonso's shot is blocked. And here you go, West Ham United up the other end. Oh, my stream just... What? That was weird. I'm watching it on the BT Sport app. That was weird. And it just completely glitched out. And now we've got a substitution again. Pulisic and he's come on for Marcos Alonso. So again, I think that'll be Hudson-Odoi going in at left wing back, and then Pulisic trying to run ragged this West Ham United defence, who have now dropped into a 4 at the back. So Chelsea overloading in attacking areas by the looks of things, and in an attempt to try and get their noses in front yet again. They've been in front twice in this game, but silly defending errors, whatever it may be, of course, Chelsea to be at 2-2 rather than where they probably after the first half should have been 2-0 up. Loftus-Cheek here gives the ball away. Christensen able to recover it though and hoofs it down the line looking for Mason Mount, but Mount was offside in the first place. Holy, Chelsea might be dropping points again. They may well be. Don't let Liverpool Man City up there. We're going to need all the support we can get if Chelsea want to take 3 points here. It looks very, very troublesome for this Chelsea side at the moment. There is genuine question marks going around in my head about this Chelsea side as a bit of a reaction sort of thing. There is a lot of question marks going around, and whether that's just overconfidence, like I spoke earlier, but at the moment, this has not been good enough. Jorginho, not been good enough. He looks sloppy at the moment. It's like the Ballon d'Or nomination and finishing third has ultimately got into his head, and now he thinks he is a better player than what he is. But Chelsea really, really do look a little bit off the pace here. I said that earlier, and then Mason Mount pulled out a terrific goal. But Chelsea, the second half has not been Chelsea's half whatsoever. West Ham United, even with losing Kurt Zouma, have looked the more dominant player. Welcome back, Josh. Hope you had a lovely lunch. And this early, there's no one in the stream, but 8 p.m. Champions League, more people. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's really difficult. Part of me is as well, that's a good ball into Mikel Antonio, but really good tracking back there from, oh my gosh, that might be 3-2. Oh my gosh, Bowen's missed it. He should have scored. Jared Bowen should have scored. Hudson-Odoi tried to track back. Mikel Antonio just shrugged him off the ball. Antonio rolls it across the box, and Bowen, golden opportunity. It should be 3-2. It should be 3-2. Chelsea with a lifeline. This is what I'm talking about with Chelsea. They switch off. Who is marking Jared Bowen there? Schoolboy stuff. Reece James, where are you, lad? Nowhere to be seen on that one. Chelsea, I don't know what it is at the minute. They just look completely disjointed at the moment. Josh saying, bloody hell, Bowen has to score. He does have to score. He really does from there. Mikel Antonio's done all the right stuff there. Really has. Honestly, Chelsea this second half have been awful. But credit where credit's due to West Ham. But where is Reece James in that? He's nowhere near. Yes, you need to do your attacking abilities, but as Trent Alexander-Arnold will tell you, if you don't do your defensive capabilities, no one thinks you can defend. West Ham with a corner here, free kick here, not being able to beat Pulisic at the front post though. Soufal rolls it back into Bowen. Bowen cuts in on his left to cross that one in. Good, better there from Edouard Mendy. That is much better. Calmly collected that from above the head of Souček. That's better from Mendy. Bit more confidence in him. Come on, Chelsea. Get yourselves forward. Book up your ideas. Christiansen to move the ball out of the box here. Christiansen, good feet here, driving the ball forward, switches it then to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi, great first touch. He's got Pulisic in support. Hudson-Odoi trying to trick and weave his way through. Rolls it back instead to Rudiger. Here is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Jorginho. Rudiger. Finds Christiansen. Chelsea having to be patient. Loftus-Cheek looks to clip one in there. Goes all the way through, though. Comes out to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi has a couple of plays up in the box in support. Dummy there. And, oh, my gosh, that somehow squeezed its way through there from, I don't know if that was Jorginho or Loftus-Cheek who hit it in the end. It was Jorginho. It just managed to squeeze its way through there. And I think that's a Chelsea corner, I think Issa Diop's just got his toe on it and inevitably turned the ball around the corner. Why is Loftus-Cheek playing? Kovacic and Kante are both injured, and Saul isn't good enough. Mount to whip this one in. Off the head of Loftus-Cheek. Is it going to fall for... Oh, my gosh, nearly fell for Pulisic in the box. Mount's going to stand up another cross. Blocked, though, by Masuaku. Might be opportunity for a counter-attack, but Jorginho this time gets a good touch on the counter-attack. Don't remind him of Manchester United. There's a man down in the box holding his head, and the referee has eventually blown for the foul there. Saul's career ruined. Well, not really. He didn't feature much last season for Atletico, actually. Didn't feature as much. Should have stayed at Atletico. I don't know if there was a place for him at Atletico. That's the problem. He's only here on loan, so it's only a year he has to put up with not playing. It was. I think that was a bit of a panic buy anyway, buying Sowell. Like it was pointless, or not buying Sowell, but loaning Sowell. Like I understand if we want to go the full distance that we need to have top players in wider depth and greater depth, but we had that anyway. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek more than capable, have we seen? Billy Gilmore, someone like that, more than capable, but we've ended up dropping those players. So, or at the time we looked to drop Billy Gilmore, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek has cemented his position. So it does seem like a weird purchase, if you will. Here's Thiago Silva. Silva drops it to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi clips one in. Reece James at the back post, but cleared before it could get there by Masuaku. West Ham really holding strong defensively. 12 minutes left on the clock. Are West Ham going to get a deserved point, especially in the second half, a deserved point from this game? Jorginho rolls it into Hudson-Odoi, into Pulisic. Pulisic is going to pull it back. Chelsea, so predictable and easily read there by Bowen. Chelsea need to turn things up. They need to do something different with it. Really predictable, Chelsea. Really predictable. I don't know what else they can do, though. They need to play the ball around faster, move it faster, not just look to pull it back from the byline because it's not working for them. Jorginho into the feet of Lukaku. That's better. Into Mount. Into Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi, though, he's going to end up having to pull it back again. And he does, looking for Loftus-Cheek. Into Mount. That's a good turn from Mount. Oh, but Soufal's done really well there to get his body in the way. But Mount somehow keeps the ball on. Rudiger outside of the foot cross, looking for Romelu Lukaku. Bit too high for Lukaku, who's come off the top of his head and has just gone over. That was nearly a great touch and turn from Mason Mount. He just needed a bit more of a chest control on it as he turned. Getting a decent player and not even playing him. Can we have him, please? I mean, the thing is, you're doing exactly the same thing. You've got Donny van der Bench. At least ours is on loan. Chelsea have scored the majority, the most frequent minutes for Chelsea to have scored this season with 8 is 76 to 90. So definitely not out of sight yet, or out of a problem yet at West Ham United. Definitely still need to keep on their toes. Here goes Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek finds Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi looks to pull it again. They keep trying to pull it back. It's not going to work. We're so one-dimensional at the minute. They need to try something different. They just keep trying to get to the byline, pull it back, and it's not working. Pulisic to Lukaku. That's better, but Lukaku's pass was a bit dodgy and ended up losing the ball there, Pulisic. Good tackle from Rudiger. Strong tackle there to stop Bowen in his tracks. Oh, come on, Chelsea. Come on. So frustrating. Benrahma's going to be introduced here. Not sure who for. We'll have to wait and see. The play's going to resume before Benrahma does come on. Throw in looking for Mikel Antonio. Antonio goes down. Not really sure why, but Chelsea continue to play. Here is Reece James. James looks to pull it back again. Looking for Hudson-Odoi, and he's hit it too far back for Hudson-Odoi, but somehow has regained possession. Jorginho into Loftus-Cheek, into Mount. Oh, the touch needed to be better there. Just a little bit dodgy, and Masuaku's done his defensive duties really well. Everything positive. That should have been a Chelsea corner there, but they've given it as a goal kick. But there was one earlier that should have been a West Ham United goal kick and there's Chelsea corner. So what comes around goes back around. Benrahma, is he coming on now? The camera's focusing on Benrahma. Let's find out what's going on. No, yet to come on yet, Benrahma. They're looking at Manuel Lanzini, so I think it will be Lanzini who's going to make way in a second as Benrahma is introduced, but not before West Ham United might have another opportunity here with Jared Bowen. Bowen drives to the byline and wins a corner for West Ham United. What? Oh, they've given a Chelsea goal kick. I'm not quite sure. Let's watch that again. Oh, yeah. Good call, actually, by the ref. Good call, actually. It does hit Jared Bowen before it goes out. It does hit Jared Bowen before it comes out. Here's Rice into Michail Antonio. Antonio slots in Soufal. Hudson-Odoi, good speed there, but not strong enough whatsoever. Shrugged off the ball easily there, Hudson-Odoi. That is the one problem about playing him at wing back. He might be okay defensively, but in terms of strength, he does get shrugged off by the stronger, more powerful players quite frequently. He's not the build for a wing back. Hudson-Odoi, though, does really well there to win that. This stream has been a very quiet stream. I'm aware of that, Shah. I'm very aware of that. But what can you do? Thank you to those who have watched throughout. I really appreciate it. Just got to keep on grinding, Shah. Just got to keep on grinding. You've only got a month left of me, so. Lanzini is the man who's going to be making way here. The scorer of the spot kick will be making way with 5 minutes left on the clock for Said Benrahma. Here we go. Piece of paper as well being slipped to Declan Rice. I don't think anyone likes 12:30 kickoffs. No, I don't. What's happening in a month? Well, I was planning on. Oh, hang on. Jared Bowen with a delightful touch there tries to clip it in towards Michail Antonio. I said if I didn't get to 500 subscribers, I was just going to pack it in because I've been thinking about it and like I enjoy it and like if it's growing and I'm not enjoying it, then there's a reason to keep doing it. If I'm enjoying it but it's not growing, then there's reason to keep doing it. But if neither of them, and at the minute I'm a little bit demotivated to do it, if neither of them are happening, then there isn't much point in me doing it because I'm doing something that is very time consuming, taking up a long sort of amount of time on a weekend. And I appreciate people like yourself, Shah, who come into every stream, always putting stuff in the chat. I appreciate you guys and obviously all the other young lads who come in as well. But it makes the motivation go for me. That's a lovely ball from Fornells, though. Looking forwards for Michail Antonio. Masuaku. West Ham look the more likely to score here. Oh my gosh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh my gosh! How was that gone in the back of the net? Arthur Masuaku has made it 3-2. Mendy's game goes from bad to worse. Mendy. Does that take a deflection on the way through? That'll be the only saving grace as it is because it's beating him at the front post. Oh, gosh. Let's watch this again. From the throw-in. It's a cross from Masuaku. Does it take a deflection on the way through? Oh, my gosh. Mendy, you should be saving that. Should be saving that, Edouard Mendy. What is that? What? Like, the ball was still coming towards him, and even still, he doesn't move. What is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? Why? Positionally there, Mendy, absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful. I just found Masuaku. Have I got it on here? How do you spell Mazawaku? Why is this lagging so much? I'm on BT Sport. Stop being a pain. Where's my mouse gone? Right, I'm going to refresh my page because my stream is really annoying. BT Sport is being a pain in the backside, and I need to work out how to spell Mazawaku as well. I might just put Arthur because it's easier. Oh, it's you. Cannot believe that. Cannot believe that. What a and Antonio's running through again here as well. And Chelsea, the problems might not be over here. I've been saying it all game. Chelsea have looked far from the team that they have looked at the moment. And oh my gosh, Bowen's through. Bowen, skies it. Absolutely skies it. West Ham United taking the game to Chelsea here. Really taking the game to Chelsea. And Chelsea have just been, they just haven't looked at the races. They rode their luck a little bit. They were lucky to get ahead. Jorginho sloppy in the first half, and Chelsea really, what a poor performance, especially in the second half. From about 40 minutes onwards, 38 minutes onwards, Chelsea have been poor. They've been complacent, and they've truly been awful. And Chelsea, I would, if anyone thinks that Chelsea are going to win the league, which I never was overly big on that, I would, off this performance, wipe that completely clear. I would say that Chelsea have got a long way to go here, especially without Lukaku and Werner and players like that. Were the Chelsea lads out on the piss last night? Honestly, they might as well have been, because Chelsea have been absolutely woeful in this second half from that penalty that they conceded. As soon as Jorginho did that, it's like everyone lost confidence. Mendy lost confidence, and now he's going to definitely have lost his confidence. Like, Chelsea have been woeful. Mount has been okay. Mount has been the bright spot. Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been pretty good. But defensively today, Chelsea have been absolutely shocking. It could be 4, it could be 5. We've got 4 minutes of added time here, but it could be 4, it could be 5. It almost certainly should have been 4 after that missed chance from Jared Bowen. Unbelievable, Chelsea. Absolutely unbelievable. Chelsea now need to get the ball up the field if they're going to try and ever redeem themselves and get themselves a point here. Here's Pulisic to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi fouled there by Soufal, and that will be a yellow card. Cynical foul there by Soufal. Don't think he was actually going to get booked there, but for gobbing off at the referee, looks like he has been put in the book eventually. Thiago Silva from that free kick rolls it into Loftus-Cheek. Thiago Silva continues to stay up. Reece James tries to do a bit of trickery and footwork to get past him, but can only succeed in actually giving away a Chelsea throw-in. Absolutely woeful from Chelsea in the second half. Woeful. This is a West Ham United team that hasn't won in 3 games. And we've come at it and we have been overconfident, overcocky, complacent, everything. Any word you can think of that describes negative, we've pretty much been that today. Sloppy, sluggish, lethargic, awful. I don't know what's going on. There's something in the mentality of that Chelsea team today, because I think they thought they'd won this game before they'd even shown up. And that was shown by the sloppy, sluggish play that we have seen, and Mendy's awful attempt at a save there. Yes, it might. I don't even think it's taken a deflection off Ruben Loftus-Cheek to go that way. Chelsea have been woeful. They haven't come out in the second half. West Ham United, credit to them, have been brilliant in this second half. They've moved Bowen closer to Antonio, removed the isolation, changed formation when Zuma has been injured, and removed that isolation from Antonio, and has been really good. But Chelsea, how far have they fallen in this game? They have looked, from that performance against Juventus, Chelsea have looked absolutely woeful and shoddy. About a minute and a half left of added time. If Tuchel doesn't, scream and shout at him in the changing room after this, then I don't know when we will ever. Chelsea looking down the barrel of their second defeat of the Premier League season, third defeat of the season, including the game against Juventus. And they might go from bad to worse here. And Christensen tripped up Antonio and given away a foul here. Yellow card, though. Thought it might be a red there. Chelsea have been absolutely woeful. Woeful. It took a wonder goal from Mason Mount for us to get ahead. Fabianski to, in the first goal for Chelsea to even score, for him to misjudge something. Chelsea have been awful. I said it throughout that second half that West Ham had been the better team and something needed changing. The subs haven't worked. We've looked flat. We've looked one-dimensional. Everything we did was go to the byline and pull it back. It was so predictable. All you had to do was put a man in the way. Lukaku, been isolated this whole second half. I bet if you look at the touch map of Lukaku, it has been, I can't imagine him having any more than 15 touches in this half. Any more. And I think that'd have been a good return, 15. Realistically, I don't know what the average is for touches, but I cannot imagine him being involved that much. He's been so isolated. There's been no one up there. Whereas on the other hand, Antonio has been, he's been so close to Bowen and they've been working well together. Chelsea have flopped here. They really have flopped in this game and it's been awful. And that is it. That is full time. I mean, fair play to West Ham. Like, West Ham in that second half were phenomenal, but, well, I wouldn't say they were phenomenal. They were much better than they were in the first half. They were a good side. Thiago Silva is the only player on that Chelsea team who really looks upset. And they changed their formation well, West Ham. They changed it really quickly well. They moved well in transition as well. And on the counter-attack, they always look dangerous. But Chelsea, man, how poor defensively did Chelsea look today? Really, really poor. As Josh says, really poor performance. What? And then Mendy, he's been so phenomenal, so phenomenal. I pitched for Mendy to, win goalkeeper of the year. Not with performances like that. You can give it to Donnarumma all you like with performances like that. Absolutely woeful. Yes, for the goal, it wasn't all, first goal, wasn't all his fault. But from that moment on, and this is really important with goalkeepers, you have to dust yourself down and you have to take it on the chin. That's all you can do. Mistakes happen. They happen. No matter what job you're in, they happen. Yes, there's more pressure. You're under 40,000, 50,000 people watching you here in a stadium. But Mendy had to bounce back and show character. And today he didn't. Today he has let Chelsea down with his performance. And I didn't think he would be the player to do that for Chelsea because he has been so, so phenomenal. I support him and I can't wait for him to be back and so that we can get it all sorted. But Chelsea have really, really, really fallen short today. Anyway, guys, thank you to you guys who have been in this chat all the way through. Shah, Josh, any others who have been in the chat as well. Haven't had a few people in for about half hour. But anyway, that's the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? Thank you, Shah. That's Sam. That's how I feel with United. I know I can totally sympathise with you now. But I am gonna leave it there. I'm gonna go sulk about the Chelsea result. Thank you for watching, and most importantly, guys, do stay safe.